Good evening. The Bureau of Customs says most of the luxury cars subject to a search warrant were missing from the property of contractor Sara Discaya. At the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing on Monday, September 1, Discaya admitted to owning 28 luxury cars. In an ambush interview on Tuesday, September 2, Bureau of Customs Chief Ariel Nepomuceno says 12 of the 28 luxury cars are the subject of the search warrant issued by a Manila court. However, Nepomuceno says they spotted only 3 luxury vehicles during the serving of the search warrant. Nepomuceno says they found 1 Maserati, 1 Land Cruiser, and 1 Escalade, which was not indicated in the warrant. The Bureau of Customs chief is urging the Discaya family to voluntarily surrender the subject luxury cars to the agency and prove that the vehicles have proper documents. The Inquirer has reached out to Sara's husband, Curly Discaya, for comment. During Monday's hearing, Sara Discaya enumerated luxury cars that her family presently owns, naming high-end brands. Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada criticized Discaya, saying it was unbelievable to have 28 luxury cars at one's disposal. Records obtained by the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism showed that companies founded by the Discaya secured 31 billion pesos worth of government flood control project contracts from 2022 to 2025. Over 100 ambulances from the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office were distributed to several local government units across Visayas. More details in this report.
The national government continues to boost the country's healthcare system as the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office turned over 124 patient transport vehicles to local government units in the eastern Visayas region. Held on August 18, 2025 in Ormoc City, the ceremonial distribution was led by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. with PCSO General Manager Mel Robles and local government chiefs in attendance. In his speech, Marcos revealed that several municipalities in the region were only receiving an ambulance for the very first time and that they're no longer without this critical source.
Yung healthcare system talaga, gusto namin buuhin at gawing maganda dahil kawawa naman ang ating mga kababayan na nagkakasakit.
The president added that this is part of their continuous efforts in strengthening the healthcare system, delivering emergency medical care to every Filipino, especially those living in low-lying communities. According to him, these newly turned over PTVs are equipped with essential medical tools such as a stretcher, oxygen tank, and blood pressure monitor, among others, that can cover 90% of a patient's needs. Marcos then assured that the government will continue to take steps to improve patient care in the country.
For the first time in the Philippines, every single municipality and every single city has a doctor now. Kaya yun ang isang bagay na napaka-importante.
As of August 2025, the PCSO has distributed a total of 1,173 patient transport vehicles, reaching 75% of its goal in providing PTVs to the 1,642 cities and municipalities by the end of the year.
President Bongbong Marcos says an independent commission that will investigate the flood control projects in the country will be completed soon. In an ambush interview on Tuesday, September 2, Marcos was asked to confirm whether Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong had been appointed as a member of the commission. However, Marcos declines to comment on the composition of the independent body that is yet to be finalized.
I don't want to talk about until buo na. Hindi pa namin nabubuo yung plano. But we'll talk about it. Malapit na yan. Very, very soon.
In a media interview on Monday, September 1, Marcos said the government is preparing an executive order to establish the independent commission. The independent body will recommend the necessary sanctions for those who will be proven to be involved in anomalous flood control projects. Earlier Tuesday, Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon said he will disband the internal committee investigating officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways linked to the controversy. Former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan initially formed the internal committee as the government intensified its anti-corruption campaign. The House Tri-Committee investigating anomalous flood control projects will compel its members to disclose their financial or business interests that could affect their probe. During the hearing on Tuesday, September 2, Akbayan Representative Chal Jokno makes a motion that members of the Tri-Committee submit a disclosure stating that they have no conflict of interest in the inquiry. Should the lawmakers have any conflicts of interest, they will be asked to inhibit from the panel. In seeking his motion, Jokno cites Senator Ping Lacson's allegations.
Senator Panfilo Lacson publicly stated that there were at least 67 members of the House of Representatives during the 19th Congress who were operating construction businesses that bagged projects that they themselves had allocated funding for. Given this revelation, Mr. Chair, by Senator Lacson, I believe we need to assure the public that this investigation will not be a whitewash and that no members of the three committees conducting this investigation have a conflict of interest.
ML Party List Representative Laila de Lima and Caloocan 2nd District Representative Edgar Arice seconds Jokno's motion. De Lima reiterates her continuous opposition to the House-led inquiry in the first place. The Tri-Committee is currently investigating anomalous substandard and ghost flood control projects as part of a broader anti-corruption crackdown by President Bongbong Marcos. The mega panel is composed of the Public Accounts, Public Works, and Public Information Committees. Vice President Sara Duterte says visitors of detained former President Rodrigo Duterte are now barred from publicly revealing their discussions during scheduled visits at the International Criminal Court Detention Center. During an interview in The Hague, Netherlands, the Vice President says the ICC's detention unit reminded them that certain conditions must be followed while visiting a detainee. This includes withholding information discussed inside the detention center.
Ni-remind kami na detention unit na merong kailangan sundin na mga conditions sa visit. So from now on, bawal kwento kung ano yung mga nangyari sa loob at ano yung mga pinag-usapan sa loob. I can only say na President Duterte is still alive. Yun lang po, hanggang room lang po. Kasi bawal po magbigay ng mga information na pinag-usapan sa loob. We're not allowed to give updates.
The Vice President is still in The Hague for a scheduled visit to her father. Joining the Vice President are Davao City Representative Paulo Duterte, acting Davao City Mayor Sebastian Duterte, and their youngest sister, Kitty Duterte. Following their visit on August 27, the Vice President held an interview and disclosed what they talked about with their father and how he was during his 5th month in jail. This had been the case in her earlier visits when she revealed details of their discussions. Former President Duterte will face the International Tribunal again on September 23 for the confirmation of charges. The Vice President says she will also attend the confirmation of charges along with other relatives. Later, 4th District Representative Richard Gomez apologizes to members of the press whose names and contact details were exposed in a social media post. In his privileged speech on Tuesday, September 2, Gomez admits that he could have handled the issue better. He says he now understands that reporters only wanted to get his side after matag-ob Leyte Mayor Bernie Tacoy's allegations against him.
My honorable colleagues in Congress, thank you for this opportunity to defend myself and clarify some facts. To the members of the press who took offense in my social media post, I sincerely apologize. Sensitive information has been removed. I understand that the media endeavored to get my side of the story. I acknowledge your efforts. I'm sorry and I could have handled it better.
Tacoy claimed Gomez failed to coordinate flood control projects with the local government. The mayor also alleged that the faulty initiatives were built using congressional funds. When asked for his side, Gomez said on his Facebook page that news agencies were doing a media spin about him in relation to the allegations. He attached screenshots of his conversations with reporters and desk officers while exposing their personal information. Several groups called out Gomez for possibly endangering the lives of journalists and putting them at risk of harassment and fraud. Gomez has since updated his post, removing the attached screenshots containing the information of media practitioners. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.